Wizardry said that is not dead, which can eternal lie. The Arab said that is not dead, for even death may die. For even death may die, my dear, for even death may die. Al-Hazred said that is not dead, which can eternal lie.
And we are live. Welcome to the Digital Renegade podcast. I'm your host, Dash and Grog, and I made it off the damn rock. I'm out of the desert of the real, and I'm now kicking it. And I finally got that old ship working again, and I'm on my own. Now I'm Star Trekking across the universe. Can only go forward because I don't understand how to go reverse. Anyhow. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about. First off, that song was Death May Die, and that was part of the Cthulhu Christmas carols. I guess that's my version's equivalent of the Alvin and the Chipmunks. And for those of you who are a bit Christmassy out, I guess. Yeah, I remember the Chipmunks. The Chipmunks are there also. You know, I was there too for them. So, but yeah, it's been a very interesting last few freaking days. I mean, Elon gave me the best gift that he could have ever gave anybody on Christmas, which just, you know, Elon, what are you doing, mate? Why do you do evil onto evil? Why do you inflict these pains upon your brothers? Why did you shell out for the frickin' ruples? Not the ruples, the rupees. The frickin' rupees. We're not even in the ruple territory. That's a different form of subversion. Here we go. Let me pull this up here and put this on the viewing globe. Ah, there he is. Good, a ruple for the good Guivasa. Yeah. We're going to talk about the Taos, because at this point, I don't know what the fuck it is. I don't know if it's like psychic energy or just fanciful associations gone amok based on internet memes like, you know, I don't know, the frickin' Laughing Man meme, whatever the hell, from Ghost in the Shell. But we really are getting to the point where we really need to put the 40K books down and find better, happier fiction. We need to find happier fiction, chat. See how many people are in here right now. Oh boy, we've got a few. Got a few on Twitter or X, which is really badass. Watch me lose my X account right now. There we go. Awesome. Now we'll see. Now we get to see whether or not, you know, I actually am going to get persecuted on X or not. It'll be awesome. Anyhow, let's see what we got here. Alrighty, so to kick off our New Year swing, let's talk about the elephant in the room here, real quick. The H1B Visa, which is the gift that just keeps on giving. This is sort of the thing that kind of kicked it off. Like, people were talking, like Vivek Ramaswamy, you know, he was basically talking specifically about how he wanted to increase the cap for the H-1B, which is not a good thing. It hurts American workers, like, legitimately. You know, and fuck the greater good. We don't do that blueberry shit here. But there were people who pushed back against it. And there are a lot of people, such as myself, who pushed back against it. There we go.
Glad I caught you. Glad I got you there.
Oh.
Elon Musk. By the way, please don't watch this if you're not Elon Musk, okay? This is a one-off video that we're doing. This is private, personal. I put this in his email. I don't know how you got this. Unless you're on the Asmongold Discord server, in which case you know my every move.
Well, I have it on, apparently, and I guess it comes with the ship, I guess. I guess every ship comes with a Sam Hyde video.
Okay. Me and Asmongold have been planning this for a while now. Moist Critical's involved.
Oh, really?
And Yeah, I guess if you're on the Moist Critical
He
Discord
looks
server,
so
you
much like
would
Leon
have
Trotsky, it's
access
not
to
even
these files.
funny.
So kudos to you, hacker. I don't think Elon's going to watch this. And listen, I know as a comedian, first and foremost, I don't expect people to take me seriously. But it is a fact that shit posting and public opinion are now intermingled permanently.
Yep.
And it's not going anywhere.
Hence why the Indians are here, shit posting, right?
I get all my news from memes, basically. That's how I get my news. Is that how you get your news? How would you even get the news if you weren't looking at memes? You watch a show?
No, I watch the Birdman of Amsterdam, but yeah.
That's even more fucking retarded.
I know.
We turn that off. It's a smart thermostat, so it's going to take 15 minutes to figure out how that fucking thing works. It's very intuitive. I don't know why the Nest thermostat is taking you so long to learn and intuit. Okay, a toddler could figure this out. A toddler on an iPad could figure out how to use the Nest thermostat.
How many H1Bs does it take to screw in a light bulb? 15. One to hire them. One to purchase the bulb, and 13 to stick around and do nothing and do make work jobs.
That's Chris Lynch, by the way, Elon. Do not hire him, okay? He's leaving this job very soon. See, he's white. He's too lazy. Chris, you're so lazy and white.
Oh, that's another thing we should talk about before we continue with Sam Hyde's take on this. Apparently, before we continue, the H-1B visa, for those who don't know, it's not racial. Danish people could come, Swedish people can come, Italians, South Africans, Zimbabwe people, theoretically anyone from around the world, because the whole purpose behind this is to take the most talented people from all around the world and bring them over here. It just so happens that of the 10,000 other from different applicants from all across the country, of the world, I should say, India is getting around 300,000 applicants. That's why everyone's talking about India. Has nothing to do with race, but it does have to do with culture, as we'll soon see.
You guys should have studied violin harder as kids. I swear to God, Vivek would have figured this out by now. I want to believe that Elon is one of the great men of our age, and that he has what it takes to become a 21st century Andrew Carnegie. I think it's important to have great men.
That's not necessarily a good thing. I mean, you don't want a system that reproduces itself
to look up to
when it's corrupt.
Trump.
I mean, there's always going to be corruption.
Elon, Tucker, and it's not necessarily important that our great men are perfect, but there are symbols of what we could be. I think if Ron Paul took steroids, he would be my number one. That would be my number one guy. You agree? Yeah. I'd like to offer you an escape, an exit from this hole you've been digging. You are a beloved figure. Anytime you do anything remotely based, people lose it. Oh my God, he's based. Yo! He just said that
Let's go.
woke liberals aren't cool for the American people. And you treated it in a way that was glib and dismissive. You just became a Republican 3 months ago. And you're talking about removing a big portion of regular people, root and stem. No. People fucking love you. They will forgive you. Nobody is trying to...
He really does look like Leon Trotsky. I mean, it's almost distracting how much he looks like Leon.
Pat Buchanan immigration policy. People broadly understand that you are a San Francisco, Tech, California, international immigrant. Well, if you want to be a regular tech guy, that's fine. You can do that. You can be Larry Ellison. You can go play on the boat. Nobody's going to give a fuck. Realize what you're fighting for. If you're going to be the tech king, you've courted the MAGA base. You wanted these people on your side. They're ready to be on your side. But you have to fight not for Ben Shapiro's idea of the country of America.
Don't fight for the idea of Rome. Fight for Rome itself. And Rome is the people.
the notion of America as this collection of ideas. That's not what it is. It's Americans. That's who you have to fight for. If you're in America, doing business in America, you want to be the man in America, you have to fight for the American people. You're not fighting for a paragraph. You're not fighting for a set of ideas, man. It's the American people who need your help. That's fundamentally why.
And you know, it's not even that. It's also the fact that they're selectively enforcing contract laws, right? So you will have people who will be told by Charlie Kirk and whatnot, don't go to college, go to trade schools. Guess what? I went to trade schools. I went to a trade school, right? I got my trade in IT. I got certificates, right? Trade certificates to do my job. I still get discriminated against by people who went to college. They may be in debt. They may not, the grass may not be greener on their side, but they're credentialed and they get to have that opportunity to become, higher echelon, not seat chip, but like higher echelon managerial positions. I get passed up every single time. And we're going to talk about that as well because it is very interesting. But I just wanted to pull this up here. Leon Trotsky or frickin' Sam Hyde. I don't know.
I think people are pissed off here. And it's an easy fix. Just don't call them retards. Elon, have you met Chris? He's on Asmongold. He's streaming all the time. He's playing these games and stuff. He's amazing what the kid does with video games. I can't believe it. People didn't suddenly have a flare-up of India hate. I've been monitoring the Indian hate websites for a while. It's actually set to my homepage. I've been checking these websites out.
The Jeets.
There were very few overt Indian haters spewing their nonsensical filth everywhere 72 hours ago. What happened? Okay, 72 hours ago, most people in the MAGA base looked at Vivek Ramaswamy with some notion of admiration or, hey, that guy says cool stuff every once in a while. Hey, you know what? I think I like that guy.
He sounds pretty cool.
He's got to be deported.
Yep.
Sucks, man. And
yep.
He's not being deported because of the color of his skin. He's being deported for the
content of his character. Yep. He's the one who brought up race. People bring up nationality with India. There are people who look more Asian in India. You know that, right? They're not all like, hello, I am Apu. They don't all look like that. And in some cases, you have people who are, seen more as South Asian, so to speak. And a lot of the criticism I've seen are because of Hinduism and the type of, society as a direct result of it.
And I think that truly was a mask-off moment where we saw that Vivek Ramaswamy really is just a fucking nerd who needs to go back. I think that what you did is different. I think it's everybody's spurt.
The real question is, does he need to go back to his own country, or does he need to go back into the locker? Or perhaps we just shoot him put him in a locker and then have Elon launch him into outer space or send him to Timbuktu. I think that'd be, I'm more for the latter.
I'm spurging out right now. I'm going to spurg out later, okay? On Chris, Lynch. And also, Indians do cool stuff every once in a while. They get the chest slapping, wrestling. You guys watch that action movies. He's shooting a bullet out of the air with a gun. He's flipping over the tuk-tuk. Indian clubs, shoulder rehab, exercise, fantastic. The hate. It's irrational hate. It's just racism. It's just a nonsensical racism. The hate and racism and anti-Indian sentiment, it's there to the extent that Indians are being used to replace white people.
No. Wrong answer. It has nothing to do with white people. It has everything to do with the fact that white people have been oppressed. And in some cases, so have the Asians, but the Asians are kind of like the Schrodinger's cat when it comes to oppression. Are they oppressed? Are they people of color? Are they white? What are they? And I've seen for the last few years that that was in fucking the Bay Area, they've basically been both a couple times, at least twice, right? So the real question here is, we have a system that disproportionately favors people, POCs, not white people, but POCs. And POC doesn't mean black. It just means people of color. So anything other than that, it's been favored. You have instances where they care more about you whether you're gay or not, or whether you are straight, or whether a lot of stuff to do with sex and also gender. And no, they're not, and they are the same thing. I don't care what the SJW say; they are the same thing. But that's basically what we've been seeing. So you've been seeing favoritism and gross incentives that have favored certain people to be in certain positions. And keep in mind, this is within a whole time frame. Nobody, like, I'm in my 30s when they started doing this. They did it when I was like probably 23 or so, right? That's when they really started pushing back right around Obama's second term. And now we're starting to see, now we have people who have been victims of discrimination. They just don't want to be discriminated against anymore. They're not asking to be for the job. They're asking for nobody else to apply for that job to be protected against foreign immigration and foreign people who, in some cases, as we're going to talk about here, they don't even have the degrees that they assert they do. Some of these companies, like Consigent, I think it's called, they're corrupt. They're an incredibly corrupt company.
That's it. We have to stop playing pretend. We're not talking about exceptional Indians here, and that's why this is sort of spreading like wildfire. People sharing these H-1B lists of what the jobs are. You are not in Calcutta scouting for the next Indian Einstein. You're not.
They're not, exactly. Wolfman Pepper says, current AstroTurfing is talking about the woke Reich, unless it's an MSM rebranding that the Catboy types, I'm going with to say, is going to be difficult to tell people who have been under a boot they aren't. Exactly, and this is the reason why, I am for, reform, and in some cases revolution, just not destroying the entire system. I want to see college students suffer. I think that 2001 should have been the end of college. We should have never done any more. We should have invested all of our infrastructure into making sure people who need to be credentialed can get credentialed without going through like 4 or 5 years of this crap. Yeah, they might have to have on-the-job training, and you could report that. But at the same time, you could also have people who are autodidacts like myself. No one's talking about the autodidacts. No one's talking about the people who literally could not afford to go to college or, in some cases, trade school without a scholarship. I thankfully got one, but even my teacher told me, you're going to have to learn to teach yourself.
We have to make it to outer space and invent new computers. Let's get to India and get the next Nikola Tesla. That's not what's happening. We're talking about people at fucking gas stations. You bring them over, you put them in a fucking gas station, and then we'll go around all the gas stations in the USA and find the next genius.
No. That's a bad use of human capital, no pun intended. No, what you do is you basically make a bullshit thing, Amazon product where you say you could just go into a store, pick up anything you want, and it'll be charged to your Amazon account. And then come to find out that little venture was actually just Indians in India watching for sweatshop wages. Okay? These people are legitimately extracting value where there is none. Dare I say, they are asserting value, but we have not consented to it actually being so. The market has not accepted it, but Amazon has. Amazon's willing to sacrifice you for a profit.
Well, what if he's not in India? What if he's working at a gas station in North Carolina? He might be there. We don't know. Why don't we bring everybody here, and then we can look for everybody? That's actually a fucking genius idea. We bring fucking everybody here, and then, like a needle in a haystack, we find the one man who can invent electrical computer. That sounds fucking retarded, and it's not true. You have to at least say that the H-1B program is being scammed. If you don't admit that, then as far as any type of discussion that goes anywhere is concerned, it's over. Yep.
And the person who brings up race when it has nothing to do with race, has everything to do with ethnicity, because disproportionately the nationality is to take it are Indians, followed by Chinese. And I've actually had an instance, it wasn't an Indian, but it was a Chinese H-1B worker who tried to steal something from a company that I'm not allowed to talk about, right? I'm not allowed to talk about what I said, but they tried to fucking literally go, same day they stole it, they tried to get on a fucking airplane. They were caught, thankfully. So not only are you exposing your secrets to the world, hoping to God that these people could be fucking loyal mercenaries, and yeah, they are mercenaries. Let's not kid ourselves. This has nothing to do with immigration. They try to inject into it because they're trying to say, hey, all these H-1Bs, let's keep them here. Let's give them citizenship. I'm like, no, don't. Or not even citizenship, green cards. It's disgusting. They need to go home. Well, for purposes, H-1B has always been a scam, and there's a different program or for hyper intelligent people, and another for temp positions. There is no one here for. Yeah, exactly. It's the O1 visa, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, it's the O1 visa is when we're trying to recruit the Manhattan Project, not just system engineers, but people who actually would have been on the Manhattan Project if we had to do it today. They're not pushing back against that. And then also the press is my wages. My wages have been fucked over. There's a reason why I'm a little upset at Trump, right? Because he fucking printed a bunch of money. I'm not going to go too far into this detail, but so did Biden. But let's not kid ourselves. Beta male Biden would not have done it without Trump alpha male, whatever you want to call him, right? God Emperor Trump leading the way, leading the charge in the fucking money printing go brr.
It's over. This is a direct quote from Moist Critical himself. I'm speaking on his behalf. He was too busy streaming Marvel Rivals to talk to you. So I'm here on his behalf, giving you opinions that he approved, okay?
Thank you, Trotsky.
Nobody's expecting you to go full Steve Bannon here, but you're a tech bro. We get it.
Oh, we're going to talk about Bannon. We're going to get there. In fact, we'll take a break from here. We'll break this up a bit. Get ourselves something to chew on here, because Trotsky's giving us some good stuff. Speaking of the other gentleman here. Bannon Lupical.
Hang on. A guy who's going to get us to Mars, and not just to the moon for a visit in a drive-by. I mean, a colony on Mars to have an alternative for the human species, of which he's one of the leaders in artificial intelligence and chipping, so that he's already working on Homo sapiens plus or 2.0. But we'll leave that topic for a different day. But to save humanity and to take humanity, he's got to be pretty smart. And being pretty smart, does he not fully understand, soup to nuts, the total and complete scam that H-1B visas are when you talk about high-skilled foreign workers?
You may be working for the ruinous powers, Bannon, and I may see through your demonic, chaotic, and evil, like snidely whiplash ways. But you're not wrong about this. This is one of the few times I would agree that Bannon is correct. So I've seen him actually call Vivek a fucking traitor at one point in this whole thing.
Man.
I don't think he does, because we need to.
Oh, she has beautiful eyes.
Move up one level in the metacognition kind of value system. He sees the world from a spreadsheet perspective.
That fucking talking point. How do you know what he sees?
And Steve, Mr. Bannon, I love your perspective, because I'm from the same viewpoint. You lead by human values, Judeo-Christian values. This is what makes...
What are those values, please? I'm not being a dick here, but what are those values?
American great. The culture.
What's with her eyes?
These type of value systems that we have.
Whatever that is. I'll get another one. I have a few of these. We'll get through these real quick, but I'm going to mainly focus on Sam High, because if you could get him to sit down for 40 minutes to talk to you and lecture you about how you fucked up, you're probably done goofed.
But if you are on Team America, and by Team America, I don't mean Ben Shapiro's collection of ideas. America's not a collection of ideas.
Every Chinese citizen is potentially a spy in regards to national security. The CCP will threaten them and their families if they can be used to get national security secrets. Yeah, exactly. So, China has to go. Sorry, you're a different civilization. In fact, that's kind of one of the reasons why there kind of has to be almost a patriotic baptism that has to happen to these people. Like, fuck the magic soil. There has to be a baptism not of soil, but of spirit. And to do that, you have to go through initiation. And to be initiated to become an American, you have to be here. You have to just be there, not to borrow the sign or some shit that fucking Walrus Boy would be running about his mouth about. Which, by the way, we're gonna get to him too, because he said some stupid shit over the break. But to him, it's just fucking, it's just Monday or Wednesday.
America is a people. Americans. If you are Team America, then the most prominent talking points need to be the immediate deportation of illegals and the end of the abuse of the American worker by programs like this H1B, the gamification of stuff like this that's set up to benefit people who aren't us. Nobody wants to solve the Japanese birth rate problem by turning Japan into India. That's preposterous. That only would work in a computer simulation where you can just change the code and make a Japanese person. I've tried it! It can't be done. In my laboratory, okay, where Asmongold is right now, down in the basement.
What's this obsession with Asmongold?
I have tried over 150 times to turn an Indian into a Japanese man. The only thing I was able to accomplish was boiling them.
Did you try the nuclear Gandhi route? Did you try to turn down the contrast so much that eventually the digits would go backwards and they just become white? It's like all this has happened before, it all happens again. So they go so dark and they become like the Agori or some shit. So they become so demonic and dark looking people, actual there was that racist comic of the mixed people or whatever the fuck it was, right? And then eventually the darkest would be the dark ebony black or whatever. And then because of the bit integer, they all become fucking transparent or some shit.
If you think, Elon, or Asmongold if you're watching this, if you think you can turn an Indian person into a Japanese person by boiling them, not going to happen, okay? Go down to my basement, talk to the 150 Indians that I already tried that on. Doesn't work. Nobody wants to solve the American birth rate problem. What's going to happen? We're going to run out of people. Oh, the stock prices are going to go down. Oh, that's a problem for the All In podcast to figure out. David Sachs. Sacks of what? Sacks of gold? Just start calling yourself David Sachs of gold. What's the other guy? Jason Sachs? Asmongold? Asmongold. David Sachs has changed his name to Asmongold. The branding is already set up for you. Asmongold wants to himself. You can replace his body and become the top streamer in America. I shouldn't say Asmongold.
I would like to be the top streamer of America. That'd be fucking cool.
He's the best streamer. Is he good? I think he's good.
More Ben and Lupical. Let's see, and stop bookmark. There we go.
To tell you no to Elon Musk, once again, brother, I'm smart enough to tell you no to your face, and I'm evil enough to be able to expose you as a running dog for the greatest enemy this nation's ever had. You're a war profiteer. You're sleeping with the enemy, brother, and you've been doing it because you're not an American nationalist.
Oh.
You're not even an American.
Oh.
All you are is a globalist, okay? A globalist. Elon Musk, once again, brother.
Oh, look at him.
All you are is a globalist, okay? A globalist. Elon Musk, once again.
No alphabet, not even numerals.
Yeah. You're just a globalist. You're just a fucking globalist. We built everything. You're just a fucking ruthless cosmopolitan, Elon. You're just a ruthless fucking cosmopolitan. You need to check your privilege, little man.
I've never watched him. I just know his name's Asmongold. The only people who want to fix the American birth rate problem by turning America into India are fuckers. People are not interchangeable economic units. If they're not more than that, then that's just an extension of antinatalism. That's just nihilism. That's just people don't matter.
It's cuckery.
Tyson, the universe doesn't care. Shit. The universe cares. That's why we're here. It's understandable why a computer guy, why an engineer would think that or would want to think that, because it would make solving problems so much easier. We have hardwired group preferences, we have genetic memory, we have culture. This is not learned stuff. It's so deeply embedded in us that it carries on for thousands of years.
Oh boy.
People
Elon has his own agenda, Wolf and Pepper says. Elon has his own agenda and is just looking out for himself. It's fine to use him, but keep him in mind he is looking out to use you as well. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He's like fucking Grand Admiral Thrawn up in this motherfucker. In fact, I don't know. I'm gonna have to share some of those as well.
As interchangeable units, while it would be useful in a simulation or in an economic theorem, it strips them of their humanity. And by the way, it's one of the first steps towards any authoritarian dictatorship type system. It's one of the first steps towards Marxism, is thinking of people as just labor. It's a very gross, anti-human.
It's not even the first step towards Marxism. It's the first step towards feudalism. You know, in fact, one could make the argument that the traditionalists, the woke right, as James Lindsay likes to call them, would benefit from having people who believe in caste. In fact, let's take a detour. We're going to get back to this because it's like 46 minutes. I would love to go through all of it with you, but I need to actually, be myself, so to speak. So let's look at this one. Let's take a look. This is... Oh, that's DSLs. Okay, here we go. You import India, this is what you get.
The first time I knew that I was inferior, I probably was 18 months old. I knew that we were untouchables. Untouchability means actually untouchability. You cannot touch them. Caste is a forced occupation based on your birth. When I first came to America, people treated me equally. In fact, even in the beginning, I used to feel, what if they touch me? They're going to be polluted. One time, a boyfriend of mine was eating from something that I already touched, and he was going there, and I said, no, stop. I touched it, and his heart broke, like, you're not in India anymore. Hinduism, more or less, is an ideological, religious prop for this social system that is caste.
Yep. And this is where, by the way, this is HuffPo, just to give you an idea. So there are multiple sides to this. And by the way, this whole Brahma, the creator god of Hinduism, that is Leviathan. That is the Hamas Hobbes Leviathan. It is the same fucking thing. And this is what happens when you meet the Tau Empire.
Brahma, the creator, the Brahmins are supposed to have come from the forehead, and the Kshatriyas from the arms, merchant caste from the thighs, service caste from legs. And untouchables are not part of any of Brahma, the creator. What makes them untouchable is they are assigned hereditary duties that are considered filthy and menial by the Indian society. Like the hardest job.
Why does it say Jew in the background? No, like it literally says Jew right there in the background.
Are theirs, and the filthiest jobs are given to them. Based on these different occupations, there are about, in my area, 52 different subcastes within untouchability. And my family is called Mala. Mala means people who do agricultural labor. And there are others who do like removing dead animals, burning the dead people, and carrying away human
Ugh, disgusting. No wonder India is fucked up. I mean, India basically is a shit fucking civilization that should have fucking died years ago. But for whatever fucking reason, it's stayed around. Maybe because it's just, you can't get any shittier than shit. India effectively has slaves with the lower castes. I don't think we should import that. Exactly. And this is sort of what I'm going with, Wolf, is that the British couldn't save this. They couldn't fix this. And they were being like actual fucking colonizers of India. Like they're gonna take the ruble from the fucking Monkey King's temple. That type of shit, right? They're gonna steal that. They're gonna steal that giant rupee that Abu was trying to take from the Cave of Wonders, right? India operates in a medieval social policy. Exactly. And this is why people like Evola love them. This is why people like Bannon kind of envy the fuckers. They just wish that they were the Brahmin. They wish that they were the ones at the top running everything. They wish that they were the managers, you know? So let's go back to Sam High, because we're not going to continue with this, because here's the thing that's interesting about the whole Untouchables. Like Wolf just said, it's offense is never given, it's always taken, and there could very well be instances where Dalits will try to take advantage of our system by playing oppressed. I'm being oppressed by my coworker. Or in some cases, you could have the Brahmin or the higher caste fuck with the Dalits, right? So this, again, don't import trouble.
Thing to think, just to appeal to the Redditor in you. That's middle brain shit. Stupid people at the bottom of the spectrum know that everybody is special. Everybody's special. Everybody's different and has their own thing.
It's not middle brain, it's reptile brain. It's lazy lizard of the leaky lagoon type of fucking mindset.
Retards know this. Geniuses understand that everybody is a unique product by and for their zeitgeist, or zeitgeist if you want to go with the moist critical pronunciation. Everybody is uniquely a product of their time and location and has their place in space and time.
Please don't go with the don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it, American Leon Trotsky. Don't.
The smart people know this, the stupid people know this. It's people in the middle with 110 IQ, which is the worst IQ to have, who think that people can just be pushed around and moved around and changed. They can't. No hate towards Hispanics, okay? But that's why the room that I'm sitting in is covered in dust, is because the general contractor I hired used Hispanic labor. I didn't know. They laid down masonry cement. When I said I wanted polished concrete floors, masonry cement, you can't polish it. They left board marks and footprints in it. And I had to pay another crew of black people, okay, shout out to Greg, to come in here with jackhammers and get this shit dumpstered out of here. I went and hired my own blacks. I went in the ghetto and hired them by hand. That's how you need to hire blacks for SpaceX. And what you get...
Just don't offer them, futures in cotton. Just saying.
Is you get lower quality construction. You get lower wages for the blue collar workers who are here and fighting. You realize that people are fucking up against the wall fighting to make ends meet?
Yep.
Do you understand that the
I've seen
American people
it.
are on the ropes right now?
I've seen a lot of it.
Not the world, okay? It's the American people. That's where this shit is popping off. That's where you came to do business. The American people are your problem now.
We are not.
To the extent that you want people to pay attention to your opinion.
We're not just an economic zone, are we?
And by people, I mean actual people. Not Patrick Bet-David, not Ian Miles Chong, Scott Adams, not these fucking f***its that'll walk around sucking your ass because you have money and because you made an electric car. But to the extent that you want that, you have to protect the American people. You're all about being pro-natalism and increasing the birth rate. Why is the average dude gonna want to have kids when he can barely afford to live by himself and eat Domino's?
Yep. That's exactly it. These people need to stop seeing value in number go up. Number go up is not an argument anymore. We have gotten to the point where we are pretty good, and what we need is innovation. Number go up should not be your main goal. Product being created and then being valued should be. And the key word is value. You can't just throw something at me and think, oh, I'm going to buy it. And it's like worse than other products that were made 10 years ago. You can't do that shit with me.
Hey, why isn't China importing Infinity Indians right now?
Well, they're at war with each other. That's not really a good argument. They're at war with each other, and they're actually beating each other with sticks out upon the border. I don't know. I guess it's third world problems.
Economic advantage. Why isn't China doing it? We need to do a naval blockade of China to make sure they don't get any of these amazing Indians. Every Indian that makes his way into China is a threat because China will use their genius to get one over on us. That's the biggest threat this country's facing right now. I think we need to go nuclear. I think we need to say, if China imports enough Indians, it's like diamonds. It's like nanotechnology. Indians are like nanotechnology.
They're like little Hajis, but don't tell Steve Bannon that.
We have to be willing to use nuclear weapons to keep China from getting these precious Indians. That's step one. Sounds retarded, right?
We have to protect it. They're like the Shankara stones. We have to keep them out of the forces of darkness. I completely understand.
Because it is. It's retarded. It's subtarded. Ever hear of a subtard? By the way, moist critical.
The country needs to reinvest in itself. We are already doing. We aren't doing that. So we can see it in our society, with everyone being so aimless and purposeless. Yeah, you're right about that. We do need to reinvest in ourselves. I personally think this, short of like certain types of small arms and like other crap, like I think a lot of like really at this point, we don't really need to have such a big army. We can still have the empire that we have. I'm not anti-NATO in this regard, but we almost certainly could start building factories here in the United States again. We could start making things in America again. I liked it at some point. I could see this as maybe in an alternate reality where you have somebody who's like Steve Jobs or whatever, you know, or Trump, let's say, or even the president for that matter, literally seeing the first iPhone. Actually, I could see Carrie Lake doing this. The first iPhone from Intel, you know, or whatever the fuck. The first chip coming off of the assembly line in Arizona. There's actually an assembly line, which again, by the way, this does affect Arizonans. As somebody who came from this type of culture where they just import mass migration of fucking H1Bs disproportionately from India. It's not about race. They just take advantage. You will see they will shit up Arizona. I'm not kidding. You open up another factory, you let these cunts in, and it's bad news bears. And yes, the sex pests are real. They actually have a holy book that's a porno, essentially. Kama Sutra, look it up.
Coined that term, subtard. Competing with China in what sense? GDP? Making a number go up? Having software companies that are valued more highly? Competing with China in what sense? And at what cost? If the cost is making America look like Calcutta, that's not worth it. That's not a price that we're willing to pay. People keep posting these aerial drone display videos of drones shaped like a dragon. Correct me if I'm wrong, that's something that a bright high schooler could do on a smaller scale, is it not?
Yes.
Drones move around in 3D space. How is that an impressive problem to anybody except boneheads who are mystified by drones in the first place? Look at this aerial drone display. It's a ballet of killer drones.
Well, there's also the fact that, you know, just like you have people who do shot put or archery, that could be used for like actual combat or hunting. You could also use drones and drone piloting as a form of warfare as well. In fact, you could also use it as a form of transportation. There's actual value to being being Krishna's best drone driver as opposed to charioteer, let's say.
How can we compete with that? That's what drones do. They move around in coordinate space. Who gives a fuck? Well, it's the low-hanging fruit of robotics that mystifies people. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Didn't we have more impressive shit in the 80s? Isn't this more impressive?
No.
Cover. With no pilot to compromise performance, even more unusual craft and propulsion systems have been designed and tested.
What the fuck? That's from Battlefield 4. What the fuck? No, I've actually seen that. Give me 1 second. BF4 final stand. Fucking BF4 final stand. Here we go. No, I saw that. So let's go back.
Why do we...
Yeah, this little thing that flies around. Like that. Oh, sorry, Trotsky. Mute that. Let's see. There we go. Where is it? There it is. See that? The little thingy? That thingy. Yeah, I fucking killed a lot of fuckers with that thing. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, it looks like something that was put in 2142, which was made back in the early 2000s. So yeah, maybe it was in the 80s.
With no pilot to compromise performance, even more unusual craft and propulsion systems have been designed and tested.
Why do we need to compete with them? Can't we just kick their spies out and tell them to fuck off? When do I get some Chinese pussy, okay? Am I not a big enough media figure that the CCP, is it the CCP, Chinese Communist Party? Why aren't they sending these hot spies to fuck with me? Suck my dick for blackmail. When's that gonna happen? China, I'm waiting, okay? I have 300,000 YouTube subscribers, or 250,000 probably, 200,000? How much on Hide Wars? If you have over 100,000 Twitter followers, you should demand that a hot Chinese spy comes and sucks your dick, okay? You take a video, whatever. Why is that? Am I not popular enough to get this fucking mingling? To get Bing Bing over here?
You're not hot enough for the cream of some young guy, or fuck you, or fuck me. You know, you're not hot enough for them. You don't have enough. You have too much accumulated karmic debt. But yeah, apparently this thing. I don't know where he got this from, but like, it exists. Now, what was it based off of? The real question. It was resembles the multi-kill vehicle MKV. Accidentally. Oh, except mechanically, physically resembles the multi-kill vehicle MKV, a planned U.S. kinetic energy weapon. Except destroyed multiple. Oh, okay. So let's look at this. Look at this for a second. I'll keep playing it, by the way.
Ah! A Tesla Model X and Bing Bing over here sucking me. That's my price, China. Send them over.
Dude, I could see. I would just lay back and go on cruise control and let Bing Bing fucking blow my brains out.
Do we need to build
here we go.
Giant cities that nobody lives in to compete? Do we need to turn our country into a surveillance state fucking nightmare to compete? Do we need to essentially have slave labor?
It wasn't a drone, so that's the first. So looking at this in real time, that wasn't a drone, and you know, thank God that, you know, I mean, maybe I've only seen it in video games, okay? I didn't see it until he fucking showed it.
Vehicle, a high-precision machine that could target several threats at a time with a single launch. By releasing a flock of smaller weapons, the multiple kill vehicle, or MKV, would be capable of accurately addressing a threat and intercepting both real missiles and decoys before any harm reaches the nation's borders. The Pentagon's project would struggle to generate much traction during its early years, but it said that the promising device might just be the weapon America was waiting for.
Yeah.
To compete. What type of competition are you talking about? And at what cost? Competing with China is competing with literal slave labor, and that's impossible to compete with. It's not worth competing with.
Well, you can compete with China, and you can compete with India and Russia. The real question is, by what heuristic? Oh, we have slave labor. Like the old joke of, you know, it's not a real AK unless it's made with slave labor and children's tears, right? It's not a real AK if it wasn't made with that. That is true. Like, we're not going to be able to outcompete, and who gives a fuck about comparing the GDP of the Soviets or some commie country? They're not even participating in the world market. They just want to take it, and they're waiting to take it. And they're waiting to do it any which way, and if they're willing to play, you know, the GDP game, they'll play the GDP game. But make no mistake, it's not a way of life, it's just a game.
Nobody who has a real sense of what matters in life thinks anything about competing with China. We've been hearing this for 30 fucking years. As long as China has been an industrial nation, there have been headlines, The Economist, I remember this in the dentist office when I was a kid. China's looming on the horizon. We have to accept a lower quality of life immediately to compete with China. That's the thrust of every article. You, the American worker, you have to take less pay and accept more bullshit because there's a big boogeyman looming on the horizon. It's China.
It's not even it's not even.
Before that, it was Japan.
No. Like I can remember in the 2000s we had. I used to hear that when we talked about North Korea, because it was always Kim Jong Un or Kim Jong Il, or it was Kim Jong Il. I don't know. The fucking guy who looks like a pedophile. Okay, not the fat one or the hot one, but not the chick, but the guy who looks like a pedophile, right? The guy from fucking Team America World Police. When I talked about going after those guys and going after them when I was doing the whole America fuck yeah phase, right? I was always told, but you have to remember about the gorilla in the room. You gotta be careful about the gorilla in the corner, which is China, and if you piss them off, they'll get all spooky on you. That, I heard about that most of my life, you know? So that is another thing he's telling that's truth.
It's constant. It's to keep wages suppressed. It's to make you shut up. Elon doubles down in this tweet, offering a false dichotomy. Either we have to have more legal immigration, or you, the person disagreeing with it, you want America to fail for your own personal gain.
What the fuck?
What are you talking about? You want America to fail for your own personal gain. What is Elon? What are you talking about? How does?
Well, first off, it's Twitter. You don't actually know who. Like, you could deal with sock puppet accounts. I think that what Twitter should do is they should do the same thing that 4chan does, is it allow you to post your nationality, and then, if enough people say it's false nationality or false IP, like, I think we should IP ban India and IP ban China. That'd be the fucking thing we do. IP ban the fuckers.
Does anybody personally gain from this? The only gain happening
in Minecraft and Warzone 3. And other things as well.
Is in stock prices of tech companies. That's the gain. That's where the gain is. Cui bono. That's who stands to benefit from this arrangement. This tweet, it's not first principles thinking. It's not in good faith dialogue. This is a dishonest mischaracterization. Nobody's calling you a liar. People say things in the heat of the moment that are dishonest, though. This is a dishonest mischaracterization of the tens of thousands of people who are blowing up your website. This is not an own on Elon. This is not dunking on Elon. I know
Sorry.
you can bring the ban hammer down, and I know that you are going to be tempted to do so, that you already have with the Groypers, which, by the way, you have to undo that, man. You blanket banned people, not for saying you're not for posting swastikas, but for stating their opinion on this H1B issue.
I don't know enough about those particular accounts that were banned. I've heard James Lindsay say that they were fucking Indian accounts. They were just trying to egg on shit. Because keep in mind, it very well could be true, right? We don't know who's behind that avatar, that anime avatar. You don't know who I am. I could be totally talking shit. But it doesn't look good for the Doge. Case in point, this guy's running the damn thing.
Never a good coder, let alone an excellent coder. I was never a structured operator. I was not the person you would want to run the ships on or the trains on time. I had maybe reasonable design skills, but I was not the person you would trust to make something look gorgeous. Some people have an intuitive sense of design. I was not one of them. But what I think served me really well, and this was accidental, and it's only later that I kind of figured out, how to really sharpen it, was I found myself doing jobs where I could do the intersection of the three. So I would be in these product roles where I had to speak in public, or I'd write in public, and then I would, eventually I obviously found my way to venture, where I would do a lot of writing in public, and then I would meet people. It's part of the core job. And
so the guy himself, who was an H1B, and he just advises people. I mean, I could fucking do that. He's basically taking over the boomer position in the company. Oh, I'm a guy who finds, you're just a middleman. Okay.
That is a complete violation of the trust that the people you wanted to like you placed in you when you said that you're for free speech. It's straight George W. Bush, you're either with us or you're with the terrorists. That's what this is. You're either agreeing with me or you're fucking an enemy. You're an enemy.
Only Sith deal in
It's
absolutes.
not an argument, it's not a well-reasoned position. It's just my way or the highway. Is that what free speech is? Is that who you are? You can just be a celebrity. You can be like Ellen DeGeneres. You can be like The Rock. And you can get Ozempic, you can get breast implants, start going on The View. Whatever you want for popularity, you can do that, of course. But to the extent that you have popularity, if you keep digging this hole, it will be misplaced, and it'll be there because you're rich. What does winning actually mean? Healthy, functioning societies, they need more than gadgets. They need more than Marvel, more than Goy slop. They need a shared ideology, heritage, history, beliefs and values, religion, or they collapse and they crumble. That's Babel, that's Rome, that's every empire that's been crushed because there wasn't social cohesion. Basic bitch libertarian principles aren't enough. Maybe they're enough to get at VC funding, maybe they're enough to create an interesting exercise of some...
They actually are enough. The issue here is, again, with immigration, it's like amperage. It's not the voltage that kills you, it's the amperage. It's how fast it comes at you. Some of these, again, like I said before, you bring in the people from the third world and they don't integrate because there's just so many of them. They're going to be in their own ethnic enclaves. They're going to be doing their own thing and they will be start shit testing each other. Case in point, here's another example of that caste discrimination shit that, again, I don't think we should get involved in. And at the same time, we can't. It's not our responsibility to fix. But you bring these people over here, you will bring these people over, and they will be emboldened. They will embolden both the woke right and the woke left. The HR cat lady gets to defend Pujita against the evil Brahmin because, apparently she can't tell because there's no heuristic to know if someone is of the caste or not, except their last name. Good luck finding accurate information about that in English.
Shubham is still recovering from the violence he faced at school. Is not allowed to show the face of minor victims in India. He belongs to the most oppressed community in the country, Dalits, formerly known as the Untouchables.
The most oppressed. That's our heuristic now. Again, imagine what happens when HR and basically corpo slavery, and then you're basically taking advantage of these people. And again, it could very well just be, I feel oppressed. I'm being oppressed because somebody has a Bugatti and I only have one. You don't know. Oh, that white girl won't come after. Well, she's fucking bigoted towards Indians. It's not that you're a creepy pervert. It's not that you have any moral faults of your own. No, it's because you're oppressed. Now, again, this is a big issue, and I guarantee you there are exploiters on both sides, both high and low caste, right? But ultimately speaking, the people who do try to escape this, right, they are going to be forced into it because if instead of just coming to America and trying to integrate, people who want to leave this type of caste crap, they would want to integrate. They wouldn't want to be part of the system. I've met people like that. That most of them are Christians, in fact. They're good people. But the people who you bring in mass scale, this will more likely follow.
In April, Shubham was beaten up by his teacher on allegations of theft, which he denies. He says it's a common excuse teachers use to pick on Dalit students.
He beat me up everywhere. On my back, hands, legs, on my feet. He thrashed me for 45 minutes until I fainted.
On this hand, there was a fracture near his elbow, and on the other hand, 2 fingers were broken. He has a lot of injuries on both his hands. His back has several bruise marks.
That teacher was arrested, but it's not only the teachers who target Shubham. His upper caste classmates often humiliate him too.
They say all those who have dark skin are Dalits.
Why don't you complain to the teachers that they are calling you names and that it's wrong?
The teachers just beat us up instead.
What do they say?
They say, aren't you dark-skinned? What else should you be called?
Yep. So, again, this sounds like SJW talk, but colorism is a thing in this part of the world. And it should be noted, it's not because, Whitey, or where the fuck it is. By the way, apparently James Lindsay's spurting out that Jared Taylor got back on. Joined just today. It's a brand new day. Welcome back, welcome back, French Vanilla, Hank Hill, and your what? friends. No, I like Jared Taylor. I think he's kind of interesting. At least he's listenable. Plus, at the same time, you get that Hank Hill impression. No, but yeah, this type of abuse does happen, and we see it time and time again. Here's another one for you.
Two viral videos, two realities of the Dalits. December 2017, Rajsamand, Rajasthan. A Dalit youth, Shambhulal Regar, killed Muhammad Afzal, a Muslim laborer. In the video, he is threatening Muslims to refrain from having romantic relations with Hindu girls.
Yeah, so once they claim you're a woman, they're like, oh, we are totally different than you. You know, again, this is the entitlement I'm talking about. And yes, Muslims are a fucking problem, but, you know, let's not kid ourselves. This is not the way.
July 2016, Una, Gujarat. 4 Dalits, including Vashram and his brothers, were partially stripped and beaten by cow vigilantes.
By cow
In the
vigilantes.
video, the vigilantes are accusing these Dalits who skin cows of slaughtering them.
Up. Bonk.
ये 2 वीडियो, एक जिसमें हिंदू धर्म की रक्षा के नाम पर एक दलित ने हिंसा की और एक जिसमें उसी धर्म की रक्षा के नाम पर दलितों के खिलाफ हिंसा हुई.
They're killing in the name of their tradition and their culture, ladies and gentlemen. And you want these people to come over here and you think they can integrate or even, you know, even if you give them green cards, this is going to affect, the only people who benefit from this are the woke right and the woke left. It's that simple. I'm sorry. That's just the only way it is.
But they're not enough to hold people together. And again, we're back to the idea of people as a collection of economic units. That's what at the foundation of Marxism, that reality is just math. And thus the justification for a lot of Marxism is also what leads Silicon Valley libertarian type people to attempt to quantify the unquantifiable. Mount Rushmore, the space program, the interstate system, motion pictures, electricity, these are all things that are not quantifiable. So they're quantifiable in the sense that you can look back and you can say that they cost X amount of dollars or that a certain amount of concrete.
Well, they just are.
But these dream projects are unquantifiable things. There's no slider in the program where you can crank up the number of Indians to 200 million and bring the American dream to fruition faster, okay? There's no data entry point where you can bump up the Indians and get Chrysler buildings popping up everywhere, more Art Deco construction. We do not need more bloated code bases, more tech gadgets, more poorly run hotels, more work ethic, okay? What we need is we need leaders willing to fight for the American people, not for corporations, not for the idea of America, but for the American people. That is the only thing that we need on the brink of collapse, on the eve of our crumbling. It needs to be something higher, a higher ideal than tech company market caps. If it's just that...
You don't need an ideal, you need principles. And they're not the same thing. Principles come first. Ideals are things you strive towards. I want to get a six-pack ab, but my principle should be living a healthy life and not eating too much. One governs you, the other one is something you just put on a pedestal. So, we're going to get to the African walrus stuff. Well, not the African, well, maybe the African walrus stuff, but while this was all happening with Elon, I noticed that people were also chatting specifically about Whatifalthist stuff. And this is where we get to the second part of the chat, where I swear to you, I knew I called this guy out. I called him out years ago. Did I not call him out, Luke? Did I not call him out, Mr. Beckloff? Did I not call this guy out or Wolf, or what have you? This man lost his fucking mind. Do not do drugs, ladies and gentlemen.
Rudyard Lynch, better known as Whatifalthist, is an American college dropout and YouTuber whose original claim to fame was making alternative history videos. However, as his popularity has increased, his content gradually shifted to be more editorialized. Rudyard now makes sensational claims such as America will have a civil war in 2024.
Rudyard, do you believe that we will still have a civil war by April? And the short answer is yes, and I will...
Or that the incels will rise up and institute the Handmaid's Tale because they can't get laid. He has seemingly elected himself both the leader and redeemer of the online right, choosing to argue endlessly with it while seeking to sanitize it for mainstream approval, a mission only he has the skills to achieve. Anyone who's farther to the right of him becomes an enemy in the struggle to make his ideals more optical and less extreme. However, recently he posted a 3-part series that was over 12 hours long about his life.
We're not going to get into that. Like this guy here, the Cube, this gentleman, which by the way, he has more subs than me yet. You know, go subscribe to him. We're in the same ballpark. He distilled this down, and spoilers, let's just say all this has happened before and all this will happen again.
More vastly disproportionate, the impact on human history would be in a positive way. My mother had raped me over 40 times in that age range.
What?
The details make things even vastly worse. My mother waterboarded me at least 2 or 3 times, or drowning me in the bath. My mom had forced me to rape my own sister, and she had forced the babysitter to rape me.
What the fuck did he say? What? Okay.
My mom had burned me with scalding water to punish me.
Oh,
Hit
so
me in the back with a shovel as a kid.
Okay.
A few memories have really stuck with me, and they required years of EMDRs to clean out. One was my mom beating me over the head with a 1,000-page book. That was her standard move, and she did it hundreds of times. The sound's been locked in my ears as a crack, like gunpowder. I just hear... It's so loud, and it was stuck in my ears. When I was stressed, my ears would block up with sounds. So whenever I'd have panic attacks, I'd hear the sound crackling in my ears.
You know, I thought this guy, like, with all... I don't know who this guy was, but, like, I remember at one point he was stating on his channel that he was married and he has a wonderful life. He's not an incel. But after watching these videos, and we're going to get more into this stuff, because it's out there, again, I'm not going to... He's distilled it, I have commentary, so I figured I would go with it, right? Here.
But I went on dates with like a dozen different girls in that few-month period, including a few Instagram models. I have what shouldn't be high standards, but often turn into them, where I immediately cut out a woman who lies to me, who insults my honor, who...
Whatever the fuck that means.
26, who is a whore,
okay,
who annoys me. Because my rule is if I would rather stay at home and listen to Korpik Lonnie than go on a date with you, then we will not have a date, and I will stay at home and listen to Korpik Lonnie. The female company must exceed the quality of the heavy metal I listen to get me to leave the house. One time I went viral for posting a photo of me when someone posted a really nerdy photo as a caption to something I said. The real photo of me was so handsome as a contrast that it got nearly 1 million views. I am going to hold the "I was so handsome I went viral" card over people for the rest of my life. I cut her after a few months because she was disrespecting me too much and she wasn't easy to deal with. This is my biggest thing with girls. I want you to be passively pleasant enough that I enjoy the act of being with you. And
my God,
dating is I can get lots.
Abu really has changed the dating market for the worse. I think Brother John was correct about that.
Of women who I can sleep with. It's stuff like this people get super sensitive about because there's a degree of envy and there's a degree of are you lying. But yeah, my thing is it's relatively easy for me to get women to sleep with, and it's very difficult to find women I respect enough that I would marry her or even date her, because that involves me seeing her on a semi-regular basis. And I've had multiple times in the past where I've gone out with girls for longer than a short period. But I'm just not in a place where just the passive quality of person. Like, do you not lie?
Well, are you sure it's them or is it not you? Because I kid you not, he decides to pull a Carl Maria Villigut on us. He went full Madman Villigut. Never go full Madman Villigut, chat. There we go. And...
So, I basically decided to take the future of conservatism into my own hands. A manifesto I wrote, the manifesto for the new right, that was dictated to me by God. And God told me that I should integrate science, Christianity, and Darwinism into a single coherent theory. I've been regularly communicating with God about what he believes the future of the right philosophically should be. And this is what I'm about to feed you in this video is the best attempt. Think of how many people communism killed. That being more than every other ideology in history combined, as Matthew White, the greatest expert on this topic, pointed out. Communism was there to kill all religion, and we are here to enable all religions. Our goal is to save as many lives and help as many people as communism has hurt.
No.
Please help us in achieving our goal. I was praying to God to end my suffering for like the 10,000th time, and God did reply this time. However, it was a different god than the ones I spoke to before. This was the Norse god Odin.
No!
I'll explain to you over the course of this video why me communing with a pagan god does not count as heresy. He said my PTSD was a...
No! He got hijacked! No!
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Never go full Evola.
Tool for him, and I had already completed the task he asked me to do. He said that he had cleaned me out of my PTSD. There'd be some ups and downs, but it was basically over. And that was right. This happened like 3 months ago, and my PTSD's gotten so much better. Thank you for healing me of PTSD. I prayed for you thousands of times to do this, and thank you so much. I'm just gonna keep thanking you in front of this audience to demonstrate how grateful
You are showing me the fucking merchant hands, you motherfucker. Did he really cleanse you of your evil?
Stand. He said that he had been using me and that I'd already done most of the work he wanted me to do. He said that I didn't have to worry anymore and the rest of my life would be a lot easier. Your duty is to find the best spirit and marry it and serve it and be nice to it and treat it with respect and compassion.
I am the groom of Christ. Like I am to be wed to Christ. I'm sorry, but no.
So, the spirit world is both very complex but also very simple. Odin is both a messenger and lord of life. Odin uses different lowercase gods, or in the Christian tradition, angels, to provide certain roles. In Odin's case, responsibility for Darwinistic evolution and being a messenger for God.
What about Loki? Is Loki and Bartleby? What about them? I want to know about them.
If you read the Bible, you find it doesn't say other lowercase gods don't exist. And Odin says he really likes the Christians, which is why he forced his people, the Nordics, to convert to Christianity to make them stronger. When I say Rudyard is founding a religion, I mean something.
I think we need to go send this to Varg. I'm gonna send it to Varg right now. I'm like, where's your Messiah now? This guy spoke to the barbarian god.
Something along the lines of communism, Confucianism, or Taoism, which is a philosophy of moral conduct. You should perceive whatever Rudyard's doing as anti-communism. This religion is meant to be the inverse of communism, and so if you don't consider communism to be a religion, then this isn't a religion.
I didn't get this at first either. Keep this in mind. Whenever he uses the word we, he's referring to himself and Odin. And in his own words, Odin may or may not be possessing him during these videos to explain his moral philosophy.
Could have been worse. He could have been possessed by the priest of hell.
I'm here to tell you what to believe, but to give you good advice. We're gardeners who want the world to grow into a stunningly beautiful forest. We love you, the animals, the trees, and the spirits more than we could ever say.
This guy he's broken. He's fucking broken, mate. The fucking drugs did him in. Like he's cut like before he came off like an intellectual snob. Now he's coming off like a fucking perv from fucking junior high.
There's no worshiping here. You will still be here to revere the Christian gods with your heart and soul. Sorry, you will still be here to revere the Christian God with your heart and soul. Go to church, pray to Christ, and all that. Yahweh is also my Lord, so I do this too. However, I'm here to be your cool older brother to teach you useful advice. I will give you completely reasonable and practical advice.
I thought that Odin was the All-Father, so what the fuck? Like, is that also bullshit?
On how to be successful and increase your reproductive odds. This is advice that will be completely obvious to you once you hear it and will help you, your children, your people survive, procreate, and have fun. Everything I say will be common sense and true. You can ignore the spirit world stuff if you'd like, and then take the common sense stuff. Yahweh is Lord of your soul, and he is ultimate Lord, and Odin does not mess with Yahweh. Yahweh is a good guy, to say the least.
Fucking... It's Shin Megami Tensei up in this motherfucker. Holy shit!
However, to a god, you mortals all appear as the worst kind of woman. You appear silly, childish, irresponsible, and ungrateful. Thus it goes without saying that your god did an act of stunning kindness to you against a brutal, uncaring, Darwinistic universe. You should always thank others when they're kind to you. So thank you for your service, Odin, and it's an honor to serve. Is I'm here for you for the rest of my life. That means the entire rest of our lives, hopefully until nearly the 22nd century if I don't die, is a attempt to explain and articulate what just happened here. This is a historic what the fuck just happened moment that the spirit world used to show you that it's still real. Part of the reason Odin reached out to me is that I love the act of leading so much. I provide a different service in this game through Rudyard. I am another name for Lord Hermes Trismegistus.
No! Yeah, you and everybody else, punk. Fucking Yahweh talking to... Fucking Yahweh right here talking to fucking Thor. Come on.
Serves me, and he will be operating under my protection. Yahweh also owns him, but Yahweh also owns lots of people, and I spoke with Yahweh, and he's fine with letting me play for Rudyard right now. Play with Rudyard right now. Hi, this is Rudyard. I'm gonna take the narration back now. Thank you for your...
What the fuck? He literally is doing the headmate shit.
Service, Odin. Odin likes these words for when someone offers you a service you respect, where he says a simple thank you or thank you for your service, and you should respond with it's an honor to serve. I know that if I could lead both my men and my YouTube audience, I would be capable of unlocking whatever I wanted out of life. I knew I already had the network, experience, and talent that I could accomplish whatever I wanted in my life. Odin intervened in the game, and he said, hey kid, if you write a list of every girl you masturbate to, I will solve every issue in your life. I feel like we've built up enough connection after 6 hours that I can share stuff like this with you, and...
Your boundaries have been broken, buddy. Like, you really should not have fucking done that. I want to know who gave him the drugs. I want to know who gave the motherfucker drugs. Because I'll tell you this, I guarantee you it's some fucking heretic. Because someone put the idea that he encountered Odin. And that he could talk to Odin and all this other shit. Demonic possession, mate. Not even one. Or drugs, not even once. Let's see. So now we're doing more talking.
Part 2 is here. You should watch part 1 if you haven't, but it's not essential for the viewing of this video.
In the West, we're not going to die. We're not going to die because of this video.
My first video focused on the first half of the documentary Whatifalthist made about himself. And this video will focus on the second half. So enjoy, and please don't harass Mr. Rudyard Lynch. He's going through some crazy things right now.
Everything in the story is 100% true. You have my word before God, my ancestors, and myself that it's all true. That will...
I'm no good. I've known too many gods, and I've known too many fucking Spaniards.
Also makes sense at the end.
Whenever he speaks in the third person, he's being possessed by Odin in his own words. So that should help make it less confusing for you. Timestamps are in the description if you want to skip around for the crazier stuff.
Odin said that the way you should see your life is as if you were put naked in a bed with a cute other naked redhead.
Beckloff, don't get ideas.
If you were put there, you would have fun with her, right?
No. In fact, if I woke up and I found a naked redhead, I'd be wondering what the fuck happened last night. And I would probably get myself checked out for any fucking venereal diseases.
Odin said this is how you should perceive life. How we put you in front of the redhead, and we, as in the spirits, God, your ancestors, the social context of your society, puts you in a place so that you can enjoy life. It's the culture's responsibility to do this. The era when a species first attains godlike power, but lacks the wisdom to use it properly. And this is something that every species that hits this level archetypally has to deal with. And we're really proud of you as humans, because from what I've heard, we hit this 100,000 years earlier than what they expected, mostly due to the technological innovation that came out of Europe from Greece onwards. And so the gods are really, really happy we did this, and they're really, really sorry and have more empathy than you could ever understand for our condition. They
fuck the gods.
See us as teenagers now. We have to learn to grow and find our own way in the world.
Yeah, we're gonna take over their fucking internet and then basically hold it hostage, and that way we get respect from them.
And the way I perceive this is that... No, sorry, this isn't the way I perceive this. This is the way they perceive this. They're communicating through me. Because they said, quote, a society has to die. A civilization has to die. It is better to die rich than to die poor. In the West, we're not going to die. We're not going to die because of this video. Yeah, it's not really your fault your society fell apart. We find you pathetic, but this was going to happen at some time or another, and we're really proud that this is the thing that did you in. There are also a few other messages I need to convey to you briefly. The first is the spirits want to say again they love you more than they could ever say.
Yeah, no, I don't think they love... I don't think that's the case. I believe you, but I don't think what they're talking about is love. To me, it sounds more like a plot railroad, and it literally sounds like a fucking Shin Megami Tensei fucking game. Broke him.
Sent to you by your bloodline, which is why I work for Odin, since he is the genetic king of my people, the Britons. I speak to your blood. I know that you know that the things I am saying are true, since we can sense your blood. Your ancestors are really trying to help you here, and I am their gift. The spirits like to convey the message that you should mentally see me as Gandalf. If you process me as Gandalf, that's nearly a 100% accurate assessment of what my role is, what I am, etc.
I process you as fucking Christian. Am I? How fucking far off am I?
I am not a god, I am a wizard.
Oh God! You know, say what you will about Six Hexahammer's love life. He at least declared he was a wizard unironically. I mean, between him and the fucking bird, come on. Come the fuck on. Oh, wait, and the bird was a Shin Megami Tensei character also. I mean, what the fuck? Come on, get out of here.
My people have spent thousands of years breeding for bards, druids, warlords, and heroes, so I'm a mix of all four. Rudyard is clearly not a god.
He's multi-class, fuckers. He's multi-class up in this motherfucker.
Smart boy who read 900 books, hiked the Appalachian Trail, made a political faction since he realized he could. This boy loves you more than he could ever possibly say in his words.
And you deserve a sugar cube.
23. Do you really understand what that means? This boy's nearly a teenager. He's nearly killed himself multiple times.
By the way, it should be noted that he's changed his clothing all throughout this upload. It's supposed to be over like a period of time, right? But the way it's cut together makes you think that it's like the guy's losing his mind, like he's actually changing clothing and like taking on a new persona almost. Fuck. Can't even say that now because he's probably gonna you're probably gonna get freaking Max Durat to come up and say, "This is the most profound moment in video game history."
Since he loves you so much, my mom would wander through old cemeteries in the greater Philly area and look for people who died in the colonial, Revolutionary War, Civil War era, and liberate their souls from torture so they can move on to the afterlife.
What, like Final Fantasy X? What, just send fucking Seymour? Come on.
My mom would tell me growing up that she would speak to ancestor spirits, and lots of the analysis I'm feeding you now is stuff I got from my mom as a kid. My mom's story makes more sense. Why she sent me to tango, ride horses, taught me philosophy, and about religion or mythology. My mom made this deal for me, and I was forced, through the horror, to accept the deal. I think when my mom was brain dead for 2 days, God or the devil, and I think both at the same time, told my mom...
He got that from Crowley. He got that from Crowley.
She could either die or accept the deal to live. She surrendered her soul to a demon, and the rest happened from there.
Fuck, I literally hide my. There's a reason I have a persona online, is so I don't get all the fame. So like if I'm out and about, no one will recognize me. This guy decided to go on all the talk shows, and for whatever reason, he snapped, and now, I guess, I don't know, we're playing 3.5 D&D again. I don't know.
I stand for freedom and individualism, so I'm not like a friggin' commie or a friggin' Nazi who's going to tell you to submit to the state. The state's lame. I will tell you, and I will shame you until you submit to your own duty. I hate to be this blunt.
Yeah, follow your fucking dharma, Pajit.
But communism is as evil as Rudyard's mother. You won't believe that now.
So it's not that fucking evil then.
Figure it out once you get further away from the trauma and you're capable of being more objective. The psychological maladies affecting modernity are the same as the ones affecting Rudyard's family. At least.
Hey, can I ask Thor a question? What's his definition of modernity? And is time a flat circle?
In part. His father has Asperger's, or symbolic for how industrial civilization is incredibly good at accomplishing material goals, but is completely incapable of seeing the soul or emotion of human life. His mother has schizophrenia in the same way the feminine left has descended into completely incoherent suicidal madness at the expense of everyone else, devoting themselves to destroying their own reproductive chances.
So basically, she has schizophrenia, so she hears voices and whatnot. I don't know.
His sister suffers totalitarianism, in that she is a Maoist pushing for social suicide, who doesn't want to have her own children or continue her society. But she's a Maoist. She thinks the government should forcibly industrialize the economy, believes it's immoral to have children, and she believes it's immoral to pass on her own culture, and so she's going to adopt a black baby. She's going to adopt a minority rather than having one of her own babies.
What? The fuck? Oh, 2025 is going to be a badass year. And I think we've been going on for about an hour and a half now. Let's see how long we've been going. We've been going on for... I don't know. Let's see. How long have we been going? We've been going on for about an hour and 30 minutes. Yeah, let's end it here. I have the full uploads of this because, like, let's not kid ourselves. This fucker got... he dumped so much crap, and I have to go through all of it, but I guarantee you, like, some pagan probably gave him drugs, and he never been the same again. Anyhow, ladies and gentlemen, be good to one another, take care of one another, remember, don't do drugs, and saving the West is a side quest. This is the Renegade Podcast. Out.